Good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Dave, and this is Mr. Dave's Outdoors Adventures. Thanks for being with me tonight. This is going to be a pretty cool recap video, I think. As you know, the last hike I went on was the Pinnacles in Lake Arrowhead. And that was a very cool hike for a couple of different reasons that I was not even expecting. But before we get into that, it was cold. You know, we got there, it was probably in the mid to high 40s at the start, probably more towards the high 40s, and then at the end it was in the high 50s. So it was, you know, cold and cool all the way around. Never once did I really feel like, oh man, I'm burning up. It was, well, in my opinion, the perfect hiking conditions. We got to the trailhead at 6 in the morning, and that was a little bit too early. And so we had to wait around for a little bit so the sun would come up because we didn't bring any headlamps or anything like that. I had no idea that I would get there. Traffic wasn't bad, and it was much shorter than I thought it was going to be. So long story short, we ended up just kind of hanging around. And then once the lights, you know, started, the sky started lightening up, then we headed out for the trail. And it was very quiet. I mean, number one, you know, anytime I think you get to a trail early, you're not going to find hardly any people, if at all. And that was the case for us. We were the only ones on that trail, and we didn't see anybody until on the way out. And it kind of just goes, falls right in line with the rest of the hikes that I've done so far. I don't really seen anybody until I'm coming out because I get there really early, and I like it that way. This hike, the Pinnacles, I did a little bit of research on this. I knew it was going to be a challenging hike. Did not realize how challenging it was, and that made it even better. The rock scrambles, some of them were pretty intense. Going up and climbing over those things, and is a really good workout on the way up. The cool thing, though, is with those rock scrambles, they weren't insurmountable odds. I never felt that, oh, I can't do this. And it was fantastic going up. I think coming down probably was a little bit more challenging than going up, you know, because of gravity. You know, you just kept, you know, wanting to go down, down, down. So you had to be really careful. A couple things I did in that instance, sometimes we were like scrambling down the rock. I actually went down backwards. I heard that was a cool thing, and I tried it out, and it worked pretty good. So I'll probably show that on another video. That I digress. At the end of it, you know, you got out. I felt so accomplished, and that is such a great feeling. I mean, I think even if I would have turned around halfway, I still would have felt very accomplished because it was just that kind of hike. You know, at my level at least. It was really challenging. But, you know, you get challenged, you also get rewarded. And in this case, the views, we were rewarded with spectacular views. I mean, going, looking down from the bottom to the top, or looking from the top down, you know, to the bottom. All along the way, there was something special to see. And if you take that time to really soak it all in, there is, you know, pretty views all the way along the trail, depending on what you're looking at. You look at, you know, these massive boulder fields, and these things were just like monoliths rising out of the ground. Unbelievable. I'm just standing next to it and realizing, you know, this is a huge chunk of earth. It's just really profound, I think, you know, on some levels. I don't know. There were still, at the time we went, we ended up going just a couple days before the official day of spring, and there were still patches of snow on the ground, none on the trail. That it didn't even bother, you know, walking, you know, at all. There was none. There was patches off to the side, and so we didn't need to put any, like, you know, micro spikes on or anything like that. Good thing too, because I don't have any yet. I'm in the market for those, but it's turn of summer, so I feel, I got some time. The ecosystem. Okay, you think San Bernardino Mountains, you think pine trees and everything. There are only a few pine trees on the trail. It was more of a chaparral type of environment. And on the north, you border the Mojave Desert, so that's right where that kind of comes together. There's a few pine trees, but towards the top, it was just mostly those boulders and small bushes and things like that. So it really felt, like you're walking in part of like a deserty area. Very cool, completely unexpected. That's like one of the things where, you go and you think, oh, mountains, and you see something that, the lack of trees. It really made for an enjoyable hike. There was a fire, 2016, I guess, and you could see, some of the things. You could still see evidence of the fire, and just the regrowth in that area is remarkable. That's what the forest does. It's very resilient, and that's evidence of it right there. So you look at like between the standing among the boulders and this life that's just regenerating and growing. I've talked about it before. I really felt that it was part of something that was indeed bigger than myself, both in the literal and physical sense. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Hiking down, this was another unexpected part, and I really, this is one of my favorite parts, if I have to be honest. We ended up hiking the last part with a guy, his name was Jonah, and this individual is extremely skilled and knowledgeable, and it was so much fun to ask him questions about different pieces of gear, the different hikes he's been on, his plans. He shared some stories with us, and that time, we always talk about the journey, the hike, and everything's really geared toward nature, but sometimes when you end up talking to somebody about your interests like that, especially with hiking, and hearing some of the things that they go through, it's pretty impressive. And Jonah, I just want to say thank you for sharing your stories with us. That was really cool. And then another quite unexpected thing, I look for this every trail. I did a small video on the first trail I went on, and now we see some evidence of some animal tracks, and I looked at them, and I really honestly believe that this is a mountain lion track, and that's a deer track, and they were right next to each other. So something was going on relatively recently. That was very interesting to see that. Okay, so what, I always talk about, now the hike, I want to talk about some gear that I used on the way, and I was thinking, what am I gonna talk about tonight? And I think that, I'm gonna come up with something off the top of my head. All right, so this hat is a Columbia Omni-Shade Schooner Bank 2 Cachalot hat. Okay, and I've had this hat for quite some time, and this gives you great protection from the sun. In fact, I believe that the UPF is 50 plus on sun protection for this thing. So I can tell you, I've never been sunburned, wearing this hat. It's an incredible hat. It's moisture wicking. It's made out of 100% nylon, so if it's wet, it cools down fast. It doesn't hold in that sweat at all, which makes it very comfortable, extremely comfortable to wear. And then you notice here, it's got an adjustable draw cord with a clip attached to it. So this is one of the coolest things about this hat. You can adjust it and you can to get that ultimate fit for your head. And then this clip you can clip to your shirt in case it's really windy and it blows off. It's going to hit the clip and it's not going to go, it's going to stick to the shirt because of this clip, and it's not going to go flying. I just think that's a really cool feature, that's not essential to a hat in the traditional sense, but wow, what a way to keep it secured. They were thinking quite a bit about the design on this. Now I found this for under $20. However, I've had it a long time, and I just kind of did some research, and I'm going to leave the link down below for Columbia and REI, because Columbia, they have so many great products. I couldn't find this one recently, so if you run into this that somebody's selling, you should pick one up. Really, they're not that expensive, and like I say, I've had this one for a long time. I probably had it for maybe 10 years, something like that, and it's really really useful. Now, with this hat, okay, so I will not go hiking without this hat. If I don't have this hat, there is no hike. This hat, it's that important to me. Number one, I got used to the flaps and everything. Nobody's ever said, "Oh, look at that guy." I'll tell you what, my ears haven't been sunburned, my neck, my face has been protected. It shields you a little bit from when it is windy, and it dries quickly. So, and it stands up. It's lightweight, but it's so sturdy, so it stands up to a lot. And again, I'm really rough on my clothes, and like I say, this Columbia product, I will not go on a hike without it. Again, I'm not just saying that. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I just want to give my honest opinion on this. So if you can find this product or even similar products, I don't think you'd be disappointed. I really don't. Okay, so that was the hike recap. I just want to talk about this hat a little bit. I have some upcoming videos. Part 2 of the safety series is coming out, and that's going to be on cuts and scrapes, so look for that. That's coming out really soon, if it's not out already. And then my next hike coming up, going to be continue to be back in the San Bernardino Mountains. This time we're going to be in the Big Bear area, and we have a great hike planned for that. So stay tuned for that, because that one is going to be, an interesting hike with I guess a new responsibility in the hiker's perspective about this. So, all right, so stay tuned for those hikes, and I'm going to be marking this map again. You can kind of see behind me a little bit. So before, I'm going to redo this map area. Well, this is a work in progress, so this is what I have, and I made I did away with push pins. And now they're very big identifiable marks. And so we're going to be marking the map in a minute. And so then I'll show you that new look a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching this video and the other videos. It really means a lot to me. Every time I go on, I see there's more views. Thank you for that. This, again, this journey's still just beginning. It's going to continue. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching these things. So please hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and if you would subscribe to this channel, that would be pretty cool. I would really enjoy that. So for Mr. Dave's Outdoors Adventures, I'm Mr. Dave. Get outside and be adventurous.